Okay, boom, Gulag podcast. We're back. Um, Real quick
Better
before
than
we
better.
actually what? Oh,
I said back. You said back. I said better than ever.
no, worse than ever actually, because we
Yeah,
haven't
this is
done a.
rough.
Okay,
We fell
we ha-
off,
yeah, we did
to
fall
put it
off.
bluntly.
Especially Matthew.
We'll
Yeah,
Yeah,
explain it
especially
more.
Matthew.
Wait, yeah, Matthew sucks. Yeah,
yeah, guys.
is that what we're
But
saying?
actually, though,
Emphasis
well, no,
on him.
the Gulag podcast is directly related to me because I edit everything, and because I fell off.
Yeah, Matthew
Gulag
is our
podcast
editor.
fell off
Yeah, he does the
as
most.
a result.
Chief editor, director, producer, and social media manager.
He literally
Yeah,
does
you
everything
know that's
for the
right,
podcast
dude.
and for
Y'all
the
know
channel.
that's right. That this
All right.
Steven that we speak
No,
of,
Steven
he
does nothing. Steven does nothing.
As you were saying, Serj.
As I was saying, we hadn't done an episode in a while because of reasons that we'll actually explain next week for the next episode. Because this week, it's finally all about Breaking Bad.
Finally, dude, I've been waiting to do a Breaking Bad episode for like ever since we mentioned it. It
Yeah.
has been so
It has
long
been
since
quite
we
the lead
mentioned
up.
it.
We were gonna
Well,
do it
okay,
episode 4.
You mentioned it, and then I proceeded to like a month later watch the entire series, and it's been about a month since then. So something like that.
It has
And we
been
were-
at least 6 months. No,
I guess you could
no,
say-
it's been like since last summer since I watched it.
Okay, then yeah, it's probably been more than a month. Yeah.
I guess you could say your memory of Breaking Bad is a little dusty.
Oh,
Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
no.
Oh,
you can't.
it's only
say
the beginning of
that.
the podcast.
can't
And
say
we will
that.
be here all night.
We will.
As we were.
So,
Or
where
day
do we
because
even-
it's a
Shut
it's
up.
a recording.
It's a recording. This is gonna come
Not
out
live.
5 a.m. Eastern Thursday. But you knew that because you're watching or listening. Where do we
Yeah,
even
for
want to
sure.
start?
7 a.m. Eastern time.
Well, if I'll be
5 a.m.
damned,
Eastern.
this Walter White that we all praise and we all talk so much about, I think he is honestly pretty good character. I mean,
No.
in the
really?
beginning, no. In the beginning, everyone like supports him and everything because like he's good initially, I guess, in a way, and then he turns into like an evil maniac. Dude. Like the transition from the beginning to the end is insane.
Does he actually? Is he a bad guy at the end?
Whoa, really? It's almost like that's literally the entire point of the series. Oh my gosh!
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Okay, so I've got a little bit more of a deep cut and actual, like, possible to talk about thing. How about we talk about Ozymandias,
all right, there we
which
go.
Okay.
is like critically reviewed as the best episode. Pretty good. I
What
think it's
episode
pretty
is that?
Is that the
Right,
last episode?
No, it's not the last episode. It's the one where he takes the baby and like he has a fight
Let's
with
go.
Skylar and Walt Jr.'s like, no, get out of here. You know?
Does he actually?
Yeah,
does
he became
is he
New
Australian?
Zealander.
Yeah.
Does he actually?
develops the accent mid argument?
Wow, there's so many things about this show I just didn't
I know, right? It's an Easter egg actually.
Yeah, and then Gilbert Godfrey comes in. He's
Oh,
like,
Yeah,
is
but,
Ozymandias the one where? Also, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this: if you're watching this or listening to this and you haven't seen
Oh
Breaking
yeah,
Bad, this is a
spoilers by the
complete
way.
spoiler. So click off now if you haven't and are planning on watching Breaking Bad.
just put in the title.
But- No. Is that the episode where Hank dies?
I'm pretty sure. I don't
Okay.
remember exactly, but it's something like that. It's. I'm trying to think. I want to say so. Yeah,
Ugh.
or something like that
Hang on,
because
sorry.
that's the episode after. I don't remember actually, but all I know is that, like, freaking Walter White is like, "Yo," and then Skylar's like, "Yo," and Jesse's like, "Hey, bitch," and then
Oh, is that when
freaking Skylar grabs
he's
a
eating
knife.
dinner at their house?
No,
So it's-
that was a joke
uh,
about Jesse. But Skylar like grabs a knife, and then Walter like fights her, and then it's like a really well shot scene. But
I think I remember this.
and then like Walter Jr. is like, "No, stop doing that. No, stop." And
He's like, "Oh,
Like-
oi, mate, you really doing
And
it,
he's like,
yeah?"
"No, man, no. How am I supposed to get
No.
to school? I can't walk properly.
and
I have
then Walter's
cerebral
like,
palsy."
kick the ball,
He's
kick
like,
the
"Kick the
ball.
ball, Walter. Kick the ball, Walter."
Yeah, this is the
Jr."
one where Hank dies, and he's like, "Oh no, Hank, Jesse
Yeah,
boy, you really got
oh
killed.
no, oh no,
And then
you
he-
killed Hank. You killed Hank.
Oh
And
no,
then
I'm gonna fall over."
he has
No.
chemo in the mountains.
That,
Oh, it's
that
also
happens
where
later. Yeah.
where Ned Flanders, Walter White disappears.
Oh, okay. So now I'm looking at my notes. So basically, like what I wanted to
Notes.
talk about, in this episode was how like the whole sort of time, because it's an anti-hero story. So while obviously Walter White is an evil character, the story is made to sort of put him in a light where we still see him as like the main character. We still almost root for him in a way. And this episode sort of like takes off the filter, and you like see Walt for what he really is and how he's just an actual dick. You know, that's what I wanted to point out with this episode, because just the way it's shot and how I don't know how it really does it, but like the entire time in the entire show, it's like, oh yeah, go Walter White, the evil drug lord that's like killing people.
Yeah.
Like, go him. I hope he succeeds. And then in this episode, it's like, wow, that guy's actually just a bad person. You know?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Actually, on the contrary, I kind of always sympathized with him because his personality was just that of he was always doing things logically and the most efficient way possible to get out of any situation. And I don't know, I feel like I relate to that heavily. And even though he was being an asshole, there was a lot of moments in the show, and when he finally breaks, like in that episode, and text Skylar like, you know what? I was just like, yeah, go King, because I hated Skylar.
I actually
Wait,
relate a
oh.
lot to the Joker, and whenever the
More people
Joker,
scare me.
Oh
No,
no,
And then
but-
so,
throughout
like,
the show,
yeah, but talking about how that sort of like takes the filter off of him, that kind of brought me to thinking about what point in the story does Walt become Heisenberg or a monster or whatever you want to call him. What at what point does he switch from good boy Walt doing it for his family to that guy's not a good person? You know?
when he steps
The
on that kid's
moment-
legs in episode 1.
the moment they wanted to go bigger for more
When he
money.
runs someone over with his Pontiac Aztec.
That was such a cool scene.
And
If you look closely,
I feel like it may have been before that, honestly. But yeah.
I think it was before that. But if you look at that scene closely, you cannot tell whenever the two dudes turn from dudes into dummies. They did
Yeah.
a great job at using their budget on like the cool parts like that.
Yeah, but that reminds me of, if you actually look at the scene where Combo gets shot, he's actually already got blood on his shirt before
Really?
the cup explodes. Yeah, because
Damn it, Dusty! You ruined the fucking illusion.
there's like
Fuck.
a frame
Yeah.
before the cup explodes that you can see the shirt behind the cup, and it's just blood.
Dang, are you telling me that Breaking Bad is a show?
Yeah, it's almost like it's fake and produced.
Fuck! Damn it, Dusty! Fuck! You broke the illusion. Now I
There
can't
was
watch
a
Where's Matthew been
real-
getting his blue meth?
There is a real Walter White, and I want to say Alabama. I'm pretty sure there was like some real teacher named Walter White, who it's like the whole story is based off of, and he was like a chemistry teacher who tried selling meth.
Hmm.
Or making.
I bet he
it,
wasn't
don't
near
know.
as cool.
No, I bet it's a documentary.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm also distracted because I'm trying to find our topics list for Breaking Bad because I had some cool stuff in there.
Go to the threads on the topics chat.
How do I get to that with my phone?
I don't know about your phone. I'm doing it on PC.
Can you like send a message in there so I can look at it?
I'll pin something.
Inside look into our podcast, we don't know what's happening.
Never
Even
mind,
on the
I
Breaking
can't.
Bad
I'm just
episode.
gonna reply to it and put it. Wait.
It's been too long. We have to dust off the channels and clean
do,
our
'cause-
mics
Does
and
that bring it
everything.
up?
Yeah, I brought it up.
Cool.
The Saul
All right.
Goodman Titan.
Let me crack. Oh yeah, Steven wanted us to talk about because everyone watches AOT. There's a Titan in Attack on Titan who looks like Saul Goodman, and the like
He was
creator.
modeled after him.
Yeah, it was modeled after him, and that was confirmed by the guy who made it, or the guy who drew or made AOT. I don't know which one. So there's a Saul Goodman Titan in Attack on Titan.
Crazy.
It is pretty.
I wonder if
crazy.
they attacked the Saul Goodman Titan.
I wonder what happened with it because I don't care. But someone.
I
who
bet he
watches
was. I bet
AOT
he was a great lawyer for the
No,
AOT.
it looks like that's from
people.
the manga. I'm sure that if he was in the manga, they probably put him in the anime too, but I don't remember seeing it.
If
But
he was
also,
in the
I wasn't
manga.
really looking for it, you know.
Yeah.
Extremely off topic, but does anyone else hear like the Middle Eastern Nokia ringtone in the background of someone's mic?
Yeah, I hear it sometimes, like that little digital noise. I don't know what it is.
Maybe you're hearing my 3D printer.
Oh.
Oh, is that what it is?
Maybe.
That is
It
funny.
doesn't
I
quite
thought I
sound like
heard that.
But yeah. I mean, it's as quiet as it's gonna get. It's
Alright, who is-
printing right now.
Who is y'all's favorite character in Breaking Bad? Because mine is hands down Saul Goodman.
I like Saul and Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad because I watch. Okay, so I watch Breaking.
I haven't. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, I
continue.
watched Better Call Saul. Wow, Dusty, I really can't hear your printer. I watched.
Shut up.
I watched Better Call Saul before watching Breaking Bad because I knew it was a prequel and I'd always wanted to watch the prequel to something before I watched the actual thing. So I
Yeah.
did it with Better Call Saul, and it's actually, it's crazy in like prequels they'll like show characters from the like original like movie or whatever or TV show. They'll show the characters in the prequel with like a really cool camera shot, like so everyone in the audience like knows, oh my gosh, it's that character. But like every time a character like that appears in Breaking Bad that I saw first in Better Call Saul, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the guy from Better Call Saul. Like it has the exact same opposite effect. It's pretty funny. But I watched Better Call Saul first, and I got used to Saul being like a pretty good guy, but also having like a Walter White kind of change to being a bad guy. And so I don't like how Saul is in Breaking Bad because I'm not used to Saul being a bad guy. It wasn't like I hadn't seen the change yet, whereas in Breaking Bad, I had seen the change. So I was used to Walt being a bad guy.
Yeah, I will say I don't necessarily know who my favorite character is, but I know my two least favorite characters.
Spill.
Let me guess.
Hank is my
First
favorite,
one
but
is
go ahead.
Skylar. First one is Skylar.
No,
That's the
actually,
easy.
I actually almost like the character of Skylar because Anna Gunn, I think that's her name, right, is a really good actor
Yeah, she is.
or actress. But yeah, she did an excellent job.
Well, she could be an actor. Let's not discriminate.
She is an actor.
You
She's
mad,
a woman
sure.
actor.
So my two least favorite characters, one because I don't like how they were acted, and number two because I just don't like the character. But the dude, like the blonde guy that shoots the kid, whatever his name was, I hate him. And
Oh,
he sucks
yeah.
as a character, and I don't like him. Mainly just he's like a useless, no good idiot, and he doesn't deserve like what he gets. I mean, he deserves to die, but that's about it.
He
With the
doesn't
blonde
deserve
guy
to
that
be...
shoots the kid.
Yeah, at the
Todd.
very end, Todd. Have you ever watched El Camino?
Yes.
Oh, the blonde
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, the son of the fucking
The
band at
nephew,
the end.
racist
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I definitely
What's
don't
your-
think he's a good villain.
What's your other least favorite character, Dusty?
My other least favorite character is this one's gonna be a real crowd pleaser, but Walter Jr. Okay,
Oh,
it's
I
because
didn't
I
like
don't
Walter
like the
Jr.
way. It's because I don't like the way he's acted. I don't like the way he acted for
Really?
it because he's just like
Go get
he was
some
so over the
milk.
top with the acting. It wasn't subtle at all. He would just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm happy teenager," and
I
then
could
it's
see
"Ah,
that.
screw you, I hate you, parents."
I could see
And
I
it was just
I just hated the White family except for Walter. Even the
I
baby.
hated that
Fuck that
stupid
baby.
baby. Nah.
no, do
um,
not
Bruh,
do that to the
bruh.
baby.
I gotta
I
say,
I'll say it first because I hate you. While I was watching the show, obviously they make Skylar a very unlikable character, but I definitely, and I'm sure everyone else did this, like caught myself hating Skylar. I'm like, oh my god, she's so annoying, but like, she's just trying to cope with the fact that her husband's this meth man.
Yeah,
But
I didn't love her character, but she was just acted so well that I can't not like it. You know.
no, her
oh
acting
yeah, she's
performance
really
was
good.
incredible. I just hated the
Yeah,
character.
that's acting, folks. That's good
I
acting.
I gotta say, my favorite character has to be Ted Beneke.
No, Ted
That's-
Beneke is also
Beneke
one of my least favorite characters.
That's not
Post
real,
spinal
by the way.
injury.
Probably my
My
favorite
favorite is when
characters.
he's disabled.
Oh my god,
Yeah, I just said that.
that part made me physically cringe
Yeah,
because I
it
knew
did.
exactly.
Yeah.
Watch too many dead or vegetables. I knew exactly what was gonna
Oh.
happen as soon as he hit that cabinet.
That was a yikes. I do like Huel and
Yeah.
Bill Burr's characters.
I do
Huel-
like them. Yeah.
Huel was a
Cuba.
good ass character, and
Who was
but
the
for real though, I really liked Gustavo Fring and Hector Salamanca. Those are probably my and their character arcs of those two. It was just probably one of my favorite arcs of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hector was a pretty good character. I was about to say. I really liked him. It wasn't he the first character, the first drug cartel person.
No, that's
Hugo was the
Tuco.
first villain. Hector was his
Hugo.
uncle in the wheelchair.
Okay, then it was Hugo that I was thinking
No,
of.
Tuco.
Tuco. Did you even
Tuco?
watch Breaking Bad?
Dude, I did, but it's
What are you
been
doing
like
here, Matthew?
it's been a long time. It's been a long while. All right.
This is a Matthew moment. Everybody, just
Sorry,
saying,
guys.
This is a Matthew
He
moment.
fell
Well,
off,
lucky I
guys.
had it. Lucky I had it.
Oh,
Or else the
you know
universe
what?
would've
I like.
collapsed.
All right, so I like Huel and the redhead guy that Bill Burr plays, and Mike and Hank, and there's other characters. Obviously Walter. I'm just trying to think of characters that are.
I really
that
like
everyone-
Jesse.
Jesse.
I think
Yeah,
Aaron
of course I
Paul-
like Jesse.
I love
really
Aaron
like-
Paul's like style of acting because he literally in an interview he was like, "Yeah, I didn't take acting class or anything. It's just you go out there and you pretend to be a different person." And I mean, I think that's.
True.
I think for somebody who that is their methodology, he's a very good actor.
Yeah.
I really
Although
like.
I think he's a-
Oh my bad.
I just think he's like another. See, one thing I don't like that movies and TV shows do a lot, and that Aaron Paul I noticed did in Breaking Bad was, whenever they're like, first of all, I don't know, a lot of people they just like say that good acting is, or like a lot of good acting scenes are just people screaming and going absolutely batshit like mad, and then start crying.
What?
Which I mean I'm sure is super hard to do, but that just seems like every single good acting scene. Just look up like good acting on YouTube, and that's what you'll find. But I was gonna say, oh yeah, there's one thing that his character did a lot, which I absolutely hated, was after he just like gets mad or something, or like something very, like not physically strenuating and not seemingly like super mentally taxing, he just starts panting. Like if he was just in a slight argument with Walter, at the
Yeah.
end he's just like panting super heavily for no reason.
Also, one thing that kind of made me like about his like character sometimes, which I mean I'm sure it was written this way because he's like supposed to be a junkie and all this, but like every time he would get mad or anything, afterwards he would just become like completely apathetic for so long.
Oh yeah.
And that was really annoying.
Yeah, it was very childlike. Oh, I was gonna say that I really liked Hank's partner, the Mexican dude. I forget his
Steve-
name,
Gonzalez, right?
Something.
Is that his name?
but he always added like some good comic relief.
Yeah.
And I I liked Mike too. Mike was a good character.
Yeah, I really like Mike. I liked Mike's origin story in Better Call Saul also.
True.
I haven't
True.
watched like all Better Call Saul, but in Breaking Bad at least, I really like the way that like Mike was like respectable. He was a respectable hitman, if you will. You know,
Dude, that like first scene where you see him in action, like he's I don't know what I forget what he's doing, but he's like meeting up with that one dude and he shoots him in the hand. Like that whole action, that
Yeah, I
one
know.
take action scene where he shoots all those dudes was so cool.
The Asian supply dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that see that's what I'm talking about. Like he's like a respectable hitman. Like he'll I don't know.
That's another character I didn't like, and I'm pretty sure it's just
I
because
lost
she's
my
literally
words.
made to not be likable. But it was just Lydia, bro. I did not
Oh,
like
yeah.
Lydia.
I hate Lydia and I hate Lydia IRL.
True.
I really liked
That's a joke.
Jane. I think Jane was a good character.
I
She was
didn't.
hot.
I didn't like her. She was bad influence on Jesse. She made him do heroin,
Yeah,
and then he got over
true.
it really quickly.
Yeah.
Well,
One
she was
thing-
in
They didn't
rehab,
really
and he
struggle
was a
with
bad
recovery
influence on
very
her
much.
and pulled her out of rehab. So
They didn't have to do heroin. I don't know. I didn't like I don't even remember what I said. I didn't like Jane. But her dad was pretty cool. Also a joke.
Yeah.
But the plane thing, unless you want to divulge into how much more we hate Jane.
No, I just
That-
wish she had more screen time, honestly.
true.
Was she in was
Because I
she
like looking
in
at her.
El Camino in a flashback?
I think so.
believe so.
Because I know she got a couple flashback scenes because I think a lot of the fans wanted her back.
Yeah.
But dude, the whole thing with her dad and the plane,
That
that was so
a hell of a way to,
surprising.
like, yeah.
That kind of hit, and the fact
Shout-
that he killed himself afterwards. I mean,
He did?
Yeah,
In
he
the
yeah,
did.
show?
he did.
Shout out to that entire season, and I think some episodes of the season before
Oh,
that,
yeah.
like blue balling us with the close-up shots of the flaming bear in the pool.
Yeah, and like Walter's glasses being picked up by like a forensics team. That
Oh yeah,
like
was
I
kinda,
literally
like, worried.
never saw that coming. And then the CGI was a bit goofy for that, which I mean, I'm sure they didn't have the budget, and even like back then, like no TV show would have had the budget. But that was like the build up and like all the moving pieces for Walter just being very like indirectly responsible for those like 200 something people. That was rad. Thank goodness they all died.
Yeah.
Thank goodness he broke into Jesse's house to steal like $200,000 and then didn't flip her over when he saw her choking.
And then the stress from that scene when he has to take the money. Have y'all seen Uncut Gems?
No, I have not, but it's definitely on my list.
That is like Breaking Bad will have stressful scenes like that one where Walter has to rush to get the money to that drug deal, or he like has to drop the money or the drugs off or whatever it was he was doing.
Yeah, he's dropping off money to Gus while his daughter was being birthed.
Yeah, that whole thing with his daughter being birthed and stuff, the stress from that was crazy and it reminded me of Uncut Gems, which came out, of course, like a few years ago. So way after Breaking Bad. But that whole movie is like that one episode for like an hour and a half. If you like something stressful.
Another super stressful thing that's kind of similar. Y'all remember that scene where he's going to get his family like new identities from the vacuum guy, and
Oh yeah.
finds out like underneath the house that dumbass Skylar gave all of their money to fucking Ted.
Oh right.
Yeah. And he starts laughing maniacally.
Yeah, I didn't
Joker
understand
arc.
that at first, and then I had to like look up what even just happened.
Yeah, then you became the Joker and a Sigma male, and you understood
He's
it.
always been a Sigma dude.
Oh,
He hates his
Ted is
wife.
the rich old friend.
He hates
of
his
Walter.
wife. It's real.
Dude, that scene when he broke into Ted's house and he had like two snipers that had his back. That was a fucking
That
That
was
was
not
not
Ted's
Ted's
house.
house. And
Oh,
those also
shit.
weren't snipers. Dude, did you
Oh.
watch the show?
I swear
Clearly
you're
I
talking
did.
about a different thing, Matthew.
I did because I'm referencing a scene that y'all all know. So
But it wasn't Ted. It was that dude with the ears from Gray Matter. I forgot his name.
Oh,
but
There's
yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
Badger and
that was a
Skinny
good
Pete.
scene. That was
And
a good
then,
scene.
The Elliot was the dude.
Yeah,
Elliot Black.
Mm.
right. Because black and white and gray and yeah, that was.
You know what? I still don't understand to this day why. Like, yeah, they say it was his pride and whatever, but they
Oh, yeah.
literally offered him a job and to pay for his cancer treatment, and just out of spite, he said no.
Yeah, I have no
Yeah,
clue
no, that's
why
when
he
I
didn't
like
do that.
stopped rooting for him for the most part.
Yeah, I
That's
was.
when I was like, all right, yeah, you done this to yourself, homeboy.
For real.
And
Yeah.
he was bitter at them because of choice he made, which never made sense to me. Like the backstory behind that gray matter company is that when he was broke in college and married to Skylar, he needed money, so he sold all his shares of the company, which
$5,000
yeah, which was like nothing. And he said it would
compared to
have
like
been like
5 million. It's
70
worth.
million.
Yeah. Or yeah, the company's like worth billions of dollars. He would have had like millions if he
Yeah,
would have
and
stayed in.
so he was bitter about his own choices. And then when the person gave him a second chance to redeem himself, he said no. That just never made sense to me. Like it would
Yeah.
make sense if he had been like kicked out of the company, but he chose to sell out.
Yeah, no, it's annoying, but I understand. Just because like the whole story is basically sort of showing like the destruction that his pride had on his life.
Yeah.
And so like that's just sort of a pretty good little example of him being prideful and the negative consequences that carries.
Pride's definitely a recurring theme throughout the show.
I think it's only just with Walter and what's his face? Hank. But even then, I'm just trying to think of like a character you could put as a foil to Walter that like is the
Almost every character I feel like
Well,
is
like,
a pretty decent foil.
what's like
But
the
I think
Mike.
the most foil, like the biggest foil, is Hank's wife.
the Walter?
Marie
Oh yeah, yeah.
is-
You're probably right. Especially
Because
'cause
she's
she's
literally
alive
the
in the
opposite of
show.
Walter. Like she's not smart. She's not necessarily like a good person in the beginning.
Yeah, she's a
She's just
thief.
kind of like a dick. Yeah, she's a thief, and she's like completely innocent, whereas Walter is the complete opposite of innocent, and she's like completely just doesn't know anything, doesn't know what's going on. And Walter knows everything that's going on.
There's a lot of things like her character that I think the show didn't know what they were doing at first with season 1, because they
Yeah,
humanized
she definitely
her
got
after
developed
that.
later in the story.
Yeah, but in season 1 with her stealing and just being like a complete robot, I I hated her character. I grew to like, I find out she's just fine, better, just regular whatever character, but absolutely hated her in the first episodes.
Yeah, she did low-key suck, but
That is true.
True and real.
yeah.
One thing I really wanted to talk about, because I thought Breaking Bad is like completely, it fascinated me with this, but it's a very like experimental show. It seems, at least to me, like they'll try stuff that's never been tried before, and I think where that really shows, like heavily shows, is in their cold opens. Like not even just the ones where they just take a scene that's gonna happen in like 15 episodes and show it before, the first 14 episodes of a season, like they did with the bear and with the whole live free or die car before the last episode. But their cold opens, like, y'all remember when Walter gets his new car?
Yes.
That was the funniest thing I'd ever watched, because it was just so sudden that he's just like trading in his car, or he's like selling
And
his
when he
car
gets his
because it's all
sons.
busted up.
It's
Yeah,
a
and then
PT
he
Cruiser,
goes,
and then he trades it for like a brand new Challenger.
yeah, and it's like a whole music video like for the whole thing. It is so funny.
Yeah,
It
and it just
was
like cuts back to them making faces at each other while revving their hot rods.
that was absolutely awesome. That was like one of that was my favorite cold open. Not that there's like many insanely good ones, but I love that one. And when they did the whole music video for the song called
Woo, watch yourself, bud.
Negro y Azul. That's what I was trying to say. Which was the song about blue sky, and it literally just sums up what happens in season 1.
Hmm.
That was hilarious as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing I think they did super well with that show was cinematography. Oh my god, the for a TV show, like the POV shots, I gotta say, like probably my favorite shot of any TV show of all time was the POV shot where Jesse is cracking an egg into a frying pan, and they used a glass frying pan and had the camera
Oh
underneath
yeah,
it, so it's
I
like
know what you
cracking the
mean.
egg
Yeah,
like right on top of the camera. And because it's a glass frying pan, you can see the egg cooking from underneath, which is
yeah, that
such
was
a
cool.
unique point of view. But also, like even back in season 1, they used a POV shot with glass again, where when Jesse was putting the body parts of Crazy 8 and that other half Asian, half Mexican dude in the bathtub and like filling it with acid.
Yeah,
Dude, that was funny when the fucking acid leaked through the bathtub
yeah.
into the house, dude. Oh, that was so gross too.
And then one thing I just remember was like that little small but super realistic scene where Jesse's in the grocery store and he's getting the plastic tubs that Walter told him to get, and he like grabs one and he looks around and makes sure no one like sees him, and he gets in it real quick and then like gets right back out.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like little
yeah.
things like that I also like, because also, um, like they'll do things where they'll actually explain what happens. This is like my biggest pet peeve in movies and TV shows is someone will be like, "Hey, I need you to do this," and then the person will be like, "Okay, why?" And they'll say, "Just trust me." Whenever it would take like 15 seconds to explain what thing they need to do, whereas not Walter, right? Breaking Bad, it'll like I don't know, it does it obviously differently. I don't know how to explain it, but like someone will say like, "Why did you do this thing?" And instead of the character saying, "Oh, I needed to do it," they'll actually like go through an actual explanation of why they needed to, instead of saying, "Just trust me," pretty much.
Yeah.
That I hate when movies do that.
What element are we using right now, Jesse? Oh, wire.
Did you learn anything when you were in my class?
That was one of
No.
my least favorite episodes. That was like a very filler episode.
What about the episode where they're cooking? Jesse's cooking meth with Badger in the RV, and then he just fucking leaves him in the desert, and somehow he ends up back in civilization.
I don't remember that.
You want to talk about filler episode? And Alex actually said he liked this episode. It was Fly. Ugh. But
Oh,
one
I
of
know.
my
I
favorite,
like
one of my
Fly.
favorite
that was
scenes from the
ironic.
movie. One of my favorite scenes from the movie is when Walter fell. That was funny. But yeah, that episode sucked. And actually, the first time I watched through, I skipped that like the second half of that episode. Then I came back and watched it because I didn't want to watch it. I was so bored.
Well, it's
I
supposed
was
to be like a
very bored.
representation of his like cancer coming back because he was hallucinating, and they allude to that in like later episodes. Jesse says, "Yeah, my aunt when she had cancer, she was having hallucinations of shit," and then Walt
Oh,
realizes that, "Oh yeah, I wasn't able to kill that fly for like an entire day," and then after that, like a couple episodes later, he gets diagnosed with this cancer, like come back.
Yeah.
I thought the fly was real though.
No, it wasn't real. It was a hallucination.
But didn't Jesse like smack him upside the head because the fly was on his head?
Yeah.
That was funny. But I always have, anytime my ears pop, all I can think of is Walter when Jesse walks into the room and he's like, "It's positive pressure, Jesse." So now anytime there's some kind of like pressure change anywhere, I just think of positive pressure.
So when you're in the airplane, positive pressure.
Yeah, if I'm in the airplane, I just think of the guy from Malcolm in the Middle saying positive pressure.
Yeah, not the guy from Breaking Bad, the guy from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, the guy from
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Yeah. That was like I watched all of Malcolm in the Middle when I was like 12, and then I didn't like even know that it was the same person in Breaking Bad until like 2 years ago, and I was like, wow, that's dope.
I knew it was him because I watched some of Walter in the Middle. I watched some of Malcolm in the Middle, and then I watched Godzilla, and then I knew Breaking Bad existed. But like I said in a previous podcast episode, I thought Breaking Bad was an apocalypse show, so I just didn't know the context ever.
Mm-hmm.
And also, when I watched Better Call Saul, I was waiting the whole show for like the apocalypse to happen, and it obviously didn't because the show is not about the apocalypse. It's just about the desert.
When when my parents were watching Breaking Bad when it was brand new and coming out on TV, like one episode every week, I heard about it, but I didn't know what it was, and I just knew that it was about two guys cooking meth in an RV, and one was old and one was young, and I just assumed, based off of their names, Walter and Jesse, that they were these like redneck bastards cooking meth in like the southern United States. And yeah, to my surprise, it's not what it was about.
That is hilarious. I
Couple rednecks.
had a lot of like incorrect notions about what Breaking Bad would be, and that was like a lot of them came from like me watching Better Call Saul, because I also completely expected like Walter White to show up there, and I had no idea that like there's some guy in Better Call Saul that isn't in Breaking Bad, but I thought he'd be a huge main character in Breaking Bad.
The dude with the yellow Hummer.
Oh, I forgot about that guy. No, not that guy.
And he's watching Madagascar on his phone.
And they
Talks about how funny the animals are, and then he swerves to the left.
They had
it's
to go
Take
to
it
court
burn
dogs.
without looking.
go to court and say that the hole in his wall was for fetish tapes of him squatting over pie instead of his meth stash.
Is that something from Better Call Saul?
Yes.
Was that the most recent season? Because I haven't seen that.
I don't know. Saul represents him in court because police search his house. They find like a hole in the wall that's supposed to be full of meth, or that's what the guy uses it for. And then like the defense they use in court was that it's where he hid like really embarrassing sex tapes, which is like the lie. And then when the court asked like what was on the tapes, their response was that it was like, oh, he squats naked over pie.
That's freaking funny, dude. I want the newest season or season 5 of Better Call Saul to come out on like Netflix so I can watch it. It's out on Netflix in like Europe, but not in the US, and I'm just waiting because I really want to watch it. Because I watched season 4 like 2 years ago.
Yep.
Speaking of Breaking Bad spin-offs, El Camino, let's talk about that.
What a good fucking movie. And
And
Aaron
really?
Paul's
I thought it was okay.
yeah,
Same.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was good kind of closure for the show.
I thought it was
mean,
just
it left.
kind of, I don't know. It was unsatisfying to me because it was just like one episode of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it
It
just seemed
left-
like another episode.
Yeah, it left.
Also, I didn't like that the guy was fat. Which
Yeah.
I mean, say what you want, but it just doesn't like it's a continuity error. I can't see
It
past
really is. I can't, like, the only way I can rationalize it in my head is maybe Todd just had an eating problem for like a couple months and then he lost a ton of weight. But like, I don't know why they couldn't just get him to work out and get somewhat in shape for the movie. I don't know. Maybe it's a genetics thing. Maybe we're hating on him, but that
No,
yeah,
I
that
think
also
it
just
it was a
really peeved
budget
me.
thing where they would just have to pay him a lot more if they made him do a workout routine,
Probably.
and he probably just didn't want to. So they were like, "All right, cool, yeah, just be fat."
I forget why
Which,
did
I mean,
he
I guess
go
he's
after?
not fat; he's just fatter.
Yeah.
Why did he go after the welder guys? Oh, they had the money. That's why that he needed.
they had the money, and because they saw, like, they were just regular dudes, and then they saw that he was chained up in a warehouse and they didn't do anything. I think that was it.
Oh yeah,
They,
no,
they were just an obstacle in the way of him getting to whatever his girlfriend's name was.
Yeah, and then finds out that they killed her. Oh no, dude!
No, I thought he
every girl
watched him
came
kill
in.
her.
Yeah, he
Uh,
watched her die.
Yeah. He was like in the car and they walked over and shot her in the head and he was like screaming, but he had something in his mouth.
That was cool.
fucked. That was fucked.
That was fucked, but that was pretty cold.
Dude,
That was a cool
every
scene.
every girl he ever interacted with just had a horrible, terrible death.
Except for Wendy.
Wendy.
Fucking
long live
Wendy.
You remember Wendy, Matthew, but not who the,
Wendy.
I don't
who the
remember
guy from Grey
Wendy.
Matter was.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
the
Wendy's a whore.
prostitute.
That
Yeah,
was when
of
Jesse
course I'd
Pinkman was
remember the
like,
whore.
AFU.
she was just fucked to begin with. He didn't need
I
to do
didn't like
anything
her.
to her.
But like,
My favorite scene was with Wendy was when Hank brought Walter Jr. to like the parking lot and called her
Yeah.
over. It was like making fun of her. He's like, look at her. Look how many teeth she has. You doing crystal? She said, why? You got some?
that was that made me just think, like, who auditions for that role, and
Right?
do you get work afterwards?
Dude, she
Well, I'm
must have
sure a
had to
lot of
like
it was like making her look that way.
do
Yeah.
something to lose all that weight to look like fucking skeleton.
Sure, they just like, I'm sure if you put out a casting call for skinny crackhead looking women or crackhead looking people in general, you could probably get one.
Look, all I know is like you would have had to been a depraved motherfucker to hook up with Wendy.
Well, Jesse
Yeah,
Pinkman
like
clearly was.
Yeah,
when it
prostitutes
showed the
exist,
like
and a lot of them are like that.
when it
No,
showed
no,
the
You're
scene of Wendy
confusing
working.
prostitutes with a lot lizards, Dusty.
Yeah, because those aren't
Wait,
the
what?
same thing.
What?
I don't know. What were you saying, Matthew?
There's a difference in quality. You know what I mean?
No.
I was saying
No,
the
there's really
episode
not.
that
They're all-
showcases
they all
Wendy
kinda look like
working.
that.
It showed like multiple business guys going in. They looked like normal people. But
Oh yeah.
God, I don't know why they would have gone to Wendy.
They were
to get
cheating on their
dick
wife.
sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
stank, bro.
Well, I mean, yeah.
They hate
Yeah.
their wives.
They must save their lives. That's right.
Because I know when Jesse hooked up with her, he was going through a bout of paranoia.
Oh
and
yeah.
smoking crack.
He did it. He really did it all. He did crack,
Yeah,
meth,
really.
weed, heroin. What I'm surprised is how like good he looks. Like Aaron Paul is a highly attractive person, and he just did meth for his whole life.
Yeah, I also feel like they made it seem too easy for him to get clean off of heroin or whatever.
Yeah, they did.
Like he went to a 12-step program for a little bit, and that was it. That
Then
was all he did.
fell off
Yeah,
a couple
and he
times.
proceeded to sell drugs at the freaking whatever anonymous. But
Oh yeah, he did. I wonder how well
Yeah.
that worked, because you never really see how many people get into it except for his girlfriend.
mhm. And I'm sure he did a decent amount.
Badger and
selling
Skinny Pete.
drugs.
Skinny
God.
Pete. That was
I really like
actually
this character.
crazy when he took his beanie off in El Camino. That was like one of the craziest scenes.
I
Yeah,
don't remember that.
he
And
became
you know,
the Puerto Rican from Smiling Friends.
No, dude.
yeah, but I'm just now realizing El Camino was called El Camino, but the car's only in like a third of the episode or the movie, whatever.
Yeah.
True.
Dang, El Camino was very, very mid.
Yeah, I was
I just disagree. I think it was a good closure.
I think
it left
it tied it together well, but I didn't like it. They should have just had the. I don't know. I guess it would seem
it
weird
wasn't
for them to
big
have
budget.
another episode.
it was like an indie movie almost. It only did well because of its reputation.
Yeah, I just feel like it wasn't worth my time. I didn't get enough from it.
True. I'm just
Yeah, I
a
think I would have
diehard
been
fan.
fine. yeah, I would have been fine with Breaking Bad just ending with Walter dying, but I don't know. It's good closure. It just could have been so much better. If they wanted to make a movie, they should have. It's not even like an hour and a half. They should have just made
Yeah.
it full length and made it like like a movie rather than just a longer episode of Breaking Bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fair. And they should have shown like when I go for closure and things, I wanted to see like for example El Camino, I wanted to see more of like what Jesse's life would be like 10 years after the events of Walter dying and all that, you know? Like where would he be at? Like
He'd
what
be
would
in
he
the
even
zombie
be doing?
apocalypse because of
Yeah.
the Walking Bad theory or the Breaking Dead
Uh-huh.
theory. I don't know what it's called.
The fucking apocalypse, yeah. He would the world would enter World War III because Russia invades Ukraine. That's where he would be drafted.
No, because it's like, oh, I guess 10 years from then, yeah, it might be 2023 or something. Because the show it only takes place over 2 years, even though it came out over like 5. Which they mention in one episode. It's like Walter's birthday, and he's turning 51, I think. And
Mhm.
he's like, "Wow, it feels like it's been so long." Because it had been like 2.5 years, and it's in the show. It's only been one. Which is crazy because that means that like every week something happened with him that was like worth note.
Mhm.
Dude, that is crazy. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it shows both his birthdays, doesn't it?
Yeah, it shows 3 birthdays. In like the first episode, he turns 50, then he turns 51, and then he turns 52 on the last episode.
Oh wow.
Wax.
Which
Okay,
I guess
so-
his birthday. Oh, so yeah, go ahead. I was gonna say nothing important.
Oh, okay. Well, one thing that I guess I was kind of confused about. So in the scene where Skylar, like, just unsheaths all the money, just sort of chilling there, um, I was kind of wondering where all that came from. Because, like, yeah, he made some money with Gus and all that, but he didn't make that much, I don't think, or it didn't seem like he did.
No, he had his contract was like $7 million a month,
Yeah.
and he got paid in cash.
Yeah, he
They
made like $800 million or something, I think.
They could just not justify laundering that much money through the car wash because it could never be that profitable. So it just kept
Okay, so
piling
he
up.
has $80 million in cash, and
Was it
there's
80?
7 million. Yeah, that's.
I thought it was
found on
800.
Google.
I could be wrong.
Um,
Okay, never mind.
So, what's made from this?
Maybe it was like 3 million a month.
Okay, no, it was. He sold the 38 pounds he had for 1.2 million to Gus, and then Gus was like, "Give me 3 months of your time. I'll give you $3 million." I think a lot of the money came from the deal that he made. Because didn't he make the deal with the dude at the end? Kind of. I don't remember. Honestly, that whole like part of the show is a blur to me. But
Yeah, after Gus died, it's kind of
Oh,
fucked. Like it felt really zippy.
But that was like when, I don't know. It was after like Mike and Jesse wanted to sell their part of the methylamine, and Walter was like, "Nar," and then, yeah,
You know who I felt really bad for?
who?
That woman that they poisoned with the ricin, and she
I
like
didn't.
died after seeing her daughter.
That you are being sexist, like Mike said in that episode, which was absolutely hilarious and completely true. Is that because like Mike was gonna kill her and then he decided not to, and then Jesse's gonna kill her, and then or like Jesse tells Mike that he shouldn't kill her, and Jesse's like, "Oh, you're being sexist. I was sexist earlier, and that's why she's still alive." So like, I think the only reason that people feel sympathy for that character is because she's like a single mother. You shouldn't feel sympathy for her. You should feel sympathy for her daughter, which is I think just a thing.
No,
Breaking
that's
Bad
why I
does.
felt like I worded it wrong. I just felt bad about the situation because
Yeah,
like
okay,
imagine you're like a 6-year-old girl and you wake up and your fucking mom choked to death, like had like a heart attack in her sleep. Like that'd be fucked.
yeah. I mean, I also don't give a shit. If you like if you relate to the Joker and Walter White and all Sigma males, then I don't know where I was going.
Here's a new look on Breaking Bad. Though Walter was a bad guy and he helped influence a lot of the methamphetamine that was spreading around in Nevada, he also, like, once he died, a lot of the drugs that were getting passed around just like stopped because he took down Gus, he took down Hugo, and he took down.
Tuco.
Tuco and New
Hugo.
Mexico.
Hugo.
You said Nevada.
Oh, bruh.
Did you
Yeah.
even? Do you even have a Netflix account, Matthew?
Regardless, he took down a lot of the drug dealers around in the state, and
He
so a
did.
lot of the, he technically made the state safer and cleaner as a
Yeah,
result.
he like had a
Yeah,
monopoly.
shout out to
on the
Walter White
drugs.
for that one.
Yeah, good going, Walter White. You
I just feel
indirectly
bad for those
killed-
dudes in the Netherlands who never got their clean, pure meth. Those poor
Yeah.
bastards.
Dude, they were going international, bro. They should.
I know they were about to. There's so many things that just could have gone right. Dang. Speaking of so many things, you want to talk about Gus's death? Probably
Dude,
that
one
was
of my
bad.
probably
sick-ass
It was.
scene.
my
I feel like the
favorite
scene was
of the
really
whole
good.
show.
But just with the budget they had, I don't know. I felt like it was mid. I felt like it should have
Really?
been like vaporized or something. That would have been cooler
I thought it was
than
absolutely perfect.
I thought it was
than like
badass.
the absolute. Like it relies purely on suspension of disbelief, where you just gotta believe that he walked out of that room, straightened his tie, and then collapsed with
I
half
believe-
of his fucking brain exposed to air.
I believe that he like because he yells and I think he jumps to the side, still gets blown up, but maybe like he's far away enough it only just destroys half his face, and then he just walks out because he's completely delusional after just like getting an insane like trauma to the face and all the body.
Yeah, fight or
And then
flight.
he just like walks out and he just thinks he's in his usual surroundings, and then that's what happened. But when I watched that, knowing all the memes from it and like the Among Us and he yells, the funnies. But yeah, I watched that scene knowing that he was going to die, and Steven hadn't finished Breaking Bad, but I watched it with Steven because he also knew the scene because he knew that's when he's gonna die. And
Yeah,
like,
because he also knew Among Us.
yeah, because he knew a bunch of memes, especially the one where he yells Among Us, and and we were watching it, and we watch it, and like the classic, he rings the bell, ding ding ding, and it blows up, and then that's where every single meme cut off, and I had never like seen any imagery of Gus with like half his face gone, so just to see him walk out of that room, and Steven and I both knowing, oh, this is when Gus dies, we both like looked at each other in complete disbelief. It was like the coolest feeling to think, oh my god, is he not actually dead? And then to see like probably one of the biggest budget shots of the whole show of his like missing eyeball and mouth, and then he just dies.
Yeah, no, I was in complete shock when I watched that part. I hadn't even seen memes or anything. I was just like, oh damn, this is where he dies, because I knew Hector had the bomb like for the scene previously. And then when he walked out of there, I was like, there's no fucking way.
It was
And then it
completely
slowly pans
perfect.
over, and I was like, oh goddamn.
Yeah.
I just can't believe
Yeah.
that was the way that they killed him, because it just seems very simple, like, oh yeah, just trap him and bomb him.
Yeah.
Also,
for
if
real.
you watch the scene again, a small detail you may not notice, like first couple times watching that, is
No,
that
don't tell me the illusion. No.
no,
Oh.
you can see his like exposed eye muscles in his right eye socket move with his
Yes.
left eye.
I saw that. It was so dope. You also see some pretty
It's
good
just
reaction. Or what were we saying?
It's just a really small detail that they just spent a lot of time like making everything really well because they knew that was going to be like a glorious scene. Like they had to do it.
Yeah, they did that one really well after the airplane looked pretty goofy. But
I just
there's
feel
some
like
also some good subtle stuff in the background when you see like the nurses. Like the nurses are on screen for like a second maybe, and then they like have huge reactions for seeing a freaking dead man.
Dead man walking. Yeah. I just feel like in the end, it just relies like a little. It's just a little bit too unrealistic, and I know that's strange because we're talking about like Breaking Bad, which is pretty far fetched tale. But it feels like even for Breaking Bad standards, to me, it just felt like it was just slightly over the line. Like I feel like it would have been more believable, but not as cool, but more believable if he would have just like been in the room and it would have panned into the room. But
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Well,
Yeah.
dang, it's a shame that you didn't direct that. That
oh yeah,
episode.
it's such a
Could've been-
shame. I'm sure I would have won so many awards.
Yeah. Okay, one thing I wanted to talk about, two things actually. So this one y'all can probably answer, but what made Jesse realize that Walter poisoned Brock? Like, for me that never really clicked.
Did
Shoot.
he? I don't remember
He definitely
him.
did.
He does. I think he just assumed.
No, yeah, I think he just
Uh,
assumes it like they're in a fight and he brings it up, but he just like randomly screams it. I feel like it'd been like a suppressed belief that he didn't want to say until he got in another argument because it came out when he was arguing with Walt, and he had a gun to Walt's head. He was gonna kill him. So it's, I mean,
I forgot what
that's
it
when he was
was.
going crazy.
But I also, until if we found out that he did actually poison Brock, which makes sense, but it would have still been cool if they just left it like no one knows. But I totally like believed Walter and just thought that maybe he just like did get like just poisoned from something else. Like maybe he did just eat a random plant.
Yeah, no, I was like that until I saw like Walter look at the Lily of the Valley plant in his
Yeah.
backyard in that one part. But it still took me until y'all explained it to me, like why he would have done it. But then like it still makes sense, sort of, but also it's kind of like I don't know.
No, because
Yeah, I don't.
he did poison Brock with the plant, but he
Yes.
intentionally made it seem to Jesse that it had
Yeah,
been
I know
ricin.
that. I'm saying it just like it is. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense. It's dumb.
Dude, Walter White is probably the best gaslighting manipulator I have ever studied.
Girl boss.
Man boss, mansplain, manipulate, man boss.
Is that a thing? I'm gonna say that from now on.
Facts. Okay, and the other thing I wanted to talk about was, you know how there was the video where they were framing Hank, and how after that was revealed, that went absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
It was just completely forgotten about. That's dumb.
Oh, you know what I think was dumb? And it's not like a writing thing, but just like if the show were real, what would have been like a dumbass decision? That Walter left that guy's journal just like sitting in the basket of books on the shitter.
Oh yeah, for real.
And
Yeah,
that's
That was
how
another
Hank-
thing that was like
now-
really unsatisfying. It's just how like he had finally won. Like everything was good. Nobody was really sus on him or anything, you know. And then
Ooh.
just Hank goes and takes a crap, and now well, everything's
goes
ruined.
to
Hank's
add
about
another-
to die.
Another picture to his poo album.
I
Yeah.
don't know why Walter even kept it. I mean, I guess he did kind of like the guy, but clearly not that much.
Yeah, why did he keep it? Why didn't he just burn it? You'd think after all he's went through, he would have been like smart enough or at least paranoid enough to just burn any evidence of relation to that, unless he forgot about it.
I mean,
Well, no, he did it because he
forgot
put
about
it on the shitter basket, so he was obviously gonna go and read it when he goes to take another crap. You know, he was invested in that book.
Yeah. Was it just his notes? Was it literally just the notes, or was it like a poem, a poetry book?
No, it was a poetry book. I think it
Maybe
was.
that's why he kept it. He just assumed no one would like look deeply into it,
Yeah,
like
'cause it was just a
Skylar and
note.
Walt Jr. wouldn't.
Oh.
That's why
Because
you always
it
clear your
wasn't
search
actually
history.
tied. It wasn't actually tied to Gale, unless you had seen his journal that had the same note written in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
because, well, yeah, it was like to my muse, WW,
To my baby girl, yeah.
in the front cover, like on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumbass
Yar.
Gale, bro. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
He
I
was
did
a-
too.
Character.
He was a strange character.
They really like. He was a strange character. His coffee machine kind of lived on though, because like people
I
kept
thought he
using
was
it.
annoying.
I wonder
I
if
thought
that's
he was
accurate.
like
thought
the
he was
coffee
pretty
just
good.
being better because he made it scientifically.
Yeah, or like the process that he used, because he used some sort of process, you know.
I'm
I
sure
wonder
it.
if that's accurate.
I bet it's
You know-
not. I bet they just wanted to put a bunch of tubes and like be like, yeah, this will be a minor
You know,
plot
I'm
point.
going to DM Nile Red right now and have him can make the same thing. That's what I'm
Matthew when
gonna
he
do.
looks up
I'm
the
a-
cast list.
Matthew, remember when I showed you the
Oh,
freaking like I watched a Nile Red video with you, and you wanted to pay zero attention to it.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, you were at
Wait,
my
what is
house, and
Nile
it was
Red? I
like
thought that
it
was
was
the
probably
actor's
like
name.
4 years ago. No, it's like a YouTuber that does chemistry videos. But I was watching the video. It was a long time ago, back before he was mainstream.
If I couldn't
But-
remember an
freaking-
episode of Breaking Bad that happened 2 months ago or so,
Yeah.
then I probably can't remember this.
It caught me off guard when I thought you knew the actor's name too. I was like, damn, he was quick with that.
Yeah.
No, it's just a YouTuber. I remember my YouTubers, but I won't remember my actors.
Do you remember your YouTubers? I feel like. Well, I have no anecdotal evidence. So name
If
one
you were to
YouTube
quiz
channel.
me, I'd probably fail.
Name one YouTube channel.
Gulag YouTube
PewDiePie.
channel. Subscribe to Gulag
Hey,
YouTube
we came
channel.
before
Don't.
Warzone. Just
Um,
throw that out there.
Shameless
Yep.
self-promotion.
Just name is self
Follow TikTok.
Subscribe to
then-
our YouTube
then
channel.
Block us and then delete TikTok. Follow Twitter. Follow Instagram. At Gulag
And
That's what I'm-
yeah.
Podcast.
That's what I'm
Gulag
saying.
YouTube channel.
That's
Rate
right,
us 5
folks.
stars on Spotify. Rate us 1 star on Spotify. Dislike the video. Report for child endangerment. And
Viewer, I just want to say, if you've listened this far in, you are a trooper. Let me tell you.
you really
can't
are.
believe it.
And if you listen
I
this
can't
far
believe
and
you
you
made
haven't
it.
watched Breaking Bad, hi mom, how you doing?
Special
Um,
shout out to that one guy that likes all our tweets.
Oh
That's
yeah,
me.
that's factual. Who is that? No, it's not. It's
I'm
not
pretty
Serj.
sure it's me. If it's
No,
a
no.
random person,
It's
is it
a
a random
rando.
person?
Yeah,
Never mind.
and they always reply. They always reply and they always like our tweets. Special shout
Oh,
out to that
Jim?
person.
Is it Jim?
Yeah.
Oh, Jim. Yeah, we
We
know
love
Jim.
Jim. Jim's
yeah.
the best.
Yeah, Jim's
Yeah.
pog.
Jim's not the viewer though. Sorry. If you comment, we might make you the viewer.
Please
Which
interact
would
with
also-
social media. We need it. So
Honestly,
bad.
bro,
Jim-
if you comment,
Jim,
you
if
might
you
be
say-
in an episode.
Jim, if you
Yeah.
comment and we say that you're the viewer, that also insinuates that all the hate comments that we've said about the viewer go to you. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the viewer is like a very tough. It's like high risk, high reward for being the viewer.
Yeah, you there may be even a chance that you'll be our next guest speaker. Even
Yeah.
yeah, like Gilbert, you could be like Gilbert Godfrey.
you know,
You do.
we record Tuesdays at 9/8 Central.
Yeah, Tuesdays anywhere between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. Somewhere around there. And then we post Thursdays at 5 a.m. Eastern, right when we're all waking up at
Oh, is
3
that-
a.m.
Is that the time that's on my watch? Or
Actually, it's like 8 a.m. for me at that point.
Yeah, it's like 12 p.m. at me for that for me point for I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
Actually-
live in South Africa. Actually,
guys, I live in the prime time, alright? I post the videos, so I would know when we
I
post
live in the
our
prime
things.
time. Yeah, Matthew's gonna edit this, and then he's gonna have it posted. Do not check our
Yeah,
Matthew,
that's
descriptions
believe it
right.
or
for proof
not,
on that.
is a direct descendant of Jeff Bezos, and that's why he's living in the prime time.
Do you know that's right?
He's also living in the.
He
Actually,
owns
he only has
47,000
Prime.
shares of
Audible.
Amazon.
That's true. We're gonna have Bezos on this podcast one day.
Look, I might be the son of Bezos, but that doesn't mean I get to sit in a cushy chair or anything. No, I sit on the concrete bucket in the wet down stairs, the dungeon. All
I
right.
don't know about you, but I heard concrete fuck it.
Yeah, he sits on the concrete fucking. All right. Well, I think unless y'all have some final thoughts, we can leave and see y'all
Please,
next week for
no.
an episode where we talk about what we've missed for the past 4 weeks.
Man, that was a
Our
lot.
next two podcasts are going to be juicy as hell. There's going to be so much to talk about.
I have a ton I want to talk about.
Gas,
So,
Ukraine. Oh my gosh, there's so much.
some dude who had a
Joe
bulldozer forever
Biden.
ago.
Joe Biden. We love Joe Biden.
Joe Biden's America.
Wordle.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
All
We
right.
already talked about that one.
See you next time. See you next time.
No, you won't.
And thanks for watching. And